Welcome to Game 2 of our championship of the 1991 district competition of Quiz Bowl. The two teams just had a terrific game in Game 1, Lapeer East and Port Huron High. The game was won by Lapeer East, 495 to 390. This will be the championship match for the Quiz Bowl 1991 district championship. Teams ready? Begin with a toss-up question. Mideast Geography, the category. What nation is located immediately to the south of the Soviet Republic of Azerbaijan? Lapeer East?
Turkey.
Turkey is incorrect. Port Huron High?
Iran.
Iran is correct.
Good job.
Bonus question for Port Huron High. Widows in literature, the category. Who did the widow Douglas attempt to civilize in a novel by Mark Twain?
Oh.
Team captain?
Tom Sawyer.
Incorrect. Huckleberry Finn.
That's okay.
This will be a toss-up question. Administration is the category. George Bush selected Thomas Pickering as U.S. ambassador to... Time. United Nations. Toss-up question, science history, the category. Robert Millikan was giving credit to whom when he wrote, his photoelectric equation has been subject... Lapeer East.
Einstein.
Einstein, correct. Bonus question, Lapeer East, letters, the category. Who wrote a letter that began with these words? I love your verses with all my heart, dear Miss Barrett, and this is no offhand complimentary letter that I shall write. Team captain?
Kipling.
Robert Browning we were looking for. Toss-up question, graphing and algebra, the category. What is the slope of a line perpendicular to a line with the following equation? 5x minus 6y equals 17. Port Huron High.
Negative 6/5.
Exactly. Bonus question for Port Huron High. Colonial leaders. As a member of the Virginia House of Burgesses, he opposed British taxation. He helped organize committees of correspondence. He served as president of the Continental Congress from 1784 to 1786. Name him. Team captain?
Patrick Henry.
Richard Henry Lee was the correct answer. Toss-up question, category laboratory equipment. It has an airtight cover and usually contain Port Huron High.
A vacuum.
I'll finish the question for Lapeer East. It has an airtight cover and usually contains a hygroscopic substance such as calcium chloride or silica gel. Name this apparatus used for drying substances. Looking for desiccator or something along that line. Arab medicine, the category for a toss-up question. Arab physicians of the 12th century used burned sponge to treat goiter. This treatment proved effective, probably because it contained what? Lapeer East?
Iodine.
Iodine is correct. Bonus question, Lapeer East. Last lines, the category. The following is the final line of what influential book? Workers of the World Unite.
Communist Manifesto.
Correct. Toss-up question for both teams. A score 35 Lapeer East, 25 Port Huron High. Circles and circumferences, the category. The volume of a cone is 32 pi cubic inches. Express in terms of pi the circumference of its circular base. Time. 8 pi. Colonial period, this category for a toss-up question. Massachusetts and Virginia were corporate colonies. What type of colonies were New York and New Hampshire? Port Huron High. Needed response. Lapeer East? Answer was royal colonies. North American wars for a toss-up question. The Aroostook War occurred between 1838 along the boundary between Canada and what U.S. state? Port Huron
Maine.
High. Maine is correct. A bonus question for Port Huron High. Trigonometric functions. The tangent of 60 degrees is the same as the cotangent of what acute angle?
30 degrees.
30 degrees, yeah. 30 degrees.
Correct. A toss-up question. Executive departments Which executive department is responsible for setting standards of working hours, wages? Lapeer East?
Department of Labor.
Department of Labor is correct. Bonus question, category War Resolution. Congress's vote last January 12 to authorize a war with Iraq was the first such sanction for use of military force since what 1964 act? Team captain?
The War Powers Act.
The Gulf of Tonkin Resolution. Toss-up question. The war resolution was first debated in Congress after a meeting of what two diplomats in Geneva failed to produce a peace? Lapeer East?
Tariq Aziz and Baker.
Correct. Bonus question. The vote for the war resolution was the second closest in Congress history in favor of military force. Which war produced the closest vote?
War of 1812.
Correct. Toss-up question. The Senate debate on the Persian Gulf was joined by 3 senators who suffered grievous injuries in past wars. Name any one of them. Lapeer East?
Strom Thurmond.
Incorrect. Time. Bob Dole, Daniel Anoya, and Bob Curry. Toss-up question. What's the nickname of the general who commands the Allied forces in the Gulf?
Storm and Norman.
Storm and Norman is correct. Bonus question for Port Huron High. The Iraqis claimed that a bombed-out biological weapons plant near Baghdad was a factory that produced what product?
Baby milk.
Yeah, I guess baby formula, that's correct. And the score now is tied 70-70. Toss-up question. U.S. News and World Report reports that on the night of the initial Allied attack on Baghdad, a diplomat from what country tried to call Saddam Hussein?
From the Soviet Union.
Correct. From what country? Bonus question, Port Huron High. Which country's peacenik Minister of Defense, Jean-Pierre Chevènement, resigned in protest of his nation's role in the Gulf's war?
France.
Correct. Toss-up question. The Polish government has given conscripts of the choice of either serving for 1 year in the military service or 1 year working in what job? Lapeer East.
Mining.
Incorrect. Response, Port Huron High? Police force was the answer. Toss-up question. During the last decade, what Major League Baseball team spent the most money on player salaries? Port Huron High?
The Oakland Athletics.
Incorrect. Lapeer East?
Dodgers.
Incorrect. The Yankees, the correct response. The category for toss-up question, mineralogy and hardness. Ordinary glass used in windows and bottles has a hardness of what, according to Mohs scale? Time, 5.5. Property is the category. Toss-up question. The good news is that your city is going to build a new airport. The bad news is that the Port Huron High.
Eminent domain.
Correct. The bonus question for Port Huron High, Latin is the category. The Latin phrase, did you say sic sign? Sign transit gloria mundi means thus passes the glory of the
Nation. The world.
team captain.
World.
World is correct. Toss-up question, parodies. What are the last 2 words in this parody of a slogan in reference to a condition of being overweight? A waste is a terrible... Lapeer East?
To mind.
Correct. Bonus question, inflammation is the category. Former President Nixon was occasionally troubled with phlebitis. This term refers to the inflammation of a... Team captain?
Throat.
No, a vein was the correct response. History of Russia, toss-up question. Who was the first Russian ruler to call himself Tsar? Port Huron High?
Ivan the Terrible.
Correct. Bonus question. The periodic table, the category. The alkaline metals belong to group 2 in the periodic table. To what group do the halogens belong?
14 through 7, or I would go with 17 or 7.
7.
7A.
Team captain?
7.
7 is correct. Toss-up question. Degrees and rotations. What is the degree measure of an angle coterminal to 150 degrees if you make one additional rotation counterclockwise? Time, 510 degrees. Toss-up question, both teams. Score now 140 for Port Huron High, 75 for Lapeer East. Two items are used in the cytoscience or pseudoscience of numerology to reveal character and the past and future. One item is the person's name. What is the other? Lapeer East.
Birthday?
Birth date is correct. Bonus question. Which of these football stadiums has a capacity of over 100,000? Cotton Bowl, Rose Bowl, Sugar Bowl, or Orange Bowl?
The Rose Bowl?
That's correct. Toss-up question. Identify the American bird of the family Icteridae, variously called yellow-headed, red-winged, Lapeer East.
Blackbird.
Blackbird is correct. Bonus question for Lapeer East. The family are taking separate vacations this summer. Is there a grammatical mistake in the preceding sentence, and if so, identify it?
Should be the family is taking vacation.
No, there is no mistake in the sentence. A toss-up question for both teams. What nationality was the man who helped the man who fell among thieves? Time. Samaritan. Toss-up question. Match these Secretaries General of the United Nations. Trygve Lie Dag Hammarskjöld.
Norway.
Hey, I'll finish the question for Lapeer East. Match these Secretaries Generals of the United Nations. Trygve Lie Dag Hammarskjöld, U Thant, Kurt Waldheim, Javier Perez de Cuellar. These are the countries: Austria, Burma, Norway, Peru, and Sweden. Okay, Lie was Norway, Hammarskjöld, Sweden, Thant was Burma, Waldheim, Austria, and Cuellar was Peru. Toss-up question. Pick out the word which doesn't fit in this list. Khartoum, Nairobi, Pretoria, Lapeer East.
Pretoria.
I'll finish the question. It's incorrect. Finish the question for Port Huron High. Pick out the word that doesn't fit in this list. Khartoum, Nairobi, Pretoria, Salisbury, Tanzania. Port Huron High?
Salisbury.
No, Tanzania is the country. The other were capital cities. Toss-up question. A motorboat moves across a river at the rate of 4 kilometers per hour, and the velocity of the river is 3 kilometers per hour. Port Huron High.
5 kilometers per hour.
5 kilometers per hour is correct. Bonus question for Port Huron High. This great country has never produced a first-class painter, unless you count Marc Chagall, whose major influences appear to have been French and Jewish. Name the country. Team captain?
Canada.
Russia was the correct response. Toss-up question. Give the word and its spelling. We use it to describe a group of acrobats. Port Huron High.
Troop. T-R-O-U-P.
Incorrect. Lapeer East.
Troop, T-R-O-U-P-E.
Correct. Bonus question now for Lapeer East. Shakespeare is, of course, the author of Hamlet, but what American author wrote The Hamlet?
Pearl Buck.
No, correct answer was William Faulkner. Score now 140 for Port Huron High, 125 for Lapeer East. Toss-up question. Colonial cities is the category. What town became the political, social, and economic center of the South Carolina colony? Port Huron High.
Charleston.
Charleston is correct. Bonus question. French writers, the category, Port Huron High. This author wrote in the 18th century that the only legitimate foundation for political authority is the general will. Who was this Frenchman and the author of The Social Contract?
Rousseau.
It's not Montesquieu, it's Rousseau, isn't it? Yeah, I'm pretty certain it's Rousseau.
Team captain?
Rousseau.
Correct. A toss-up question. Square roots and exponents. Express as a power of y, the square root of y to the 10th power. Port Huron High.
Y to the 5th.
Correct.
Good job.
Bonus question. Ancient authors, the category. With what form of literature were the Roman authors Livy and Tacitus particularly associated?
Must be plays.
Isn't it play?
It needs to say,
What do you say? History?
I'd say drama.
Team captain?
Drama?
History would have been
Oh.
correct. Toss-up question. Astronomy in the universe. What is the name of the most distant objects ever seen in the universe? Lapeer East.
Quasars.
Quasars, correct. Bonus question, Lapeer East. Erosion, the category. What term that rhymes with creation means the type of erosion in which loose material on land surface is removed by wind action? Team captain?
Degradation.
Deflation is what we were looking for. Toss-up question. Myths and pneumonia. Or phenomena, I'm sorry. Myths and phenomena. Yeah. That would be quite a category, wouldn't it? What atmospheric phenomenon was named after the Roman goddess of dawn? Port Huron High.
The rising of the sun.
Incorrect. Lapeer East.
Aurora Boreal.
Aurora is correct. Bonus question, Lapeer East. Alphabetizing and elements, the category. You arrange the noble gases in alphabetical order. Which one comes last on the list?
Xenon.
Correct. Score now 175 for Port Huron High, 165 Lapeer East. Vocabulary of the category, toss-up question. What 5-syllable adjective refers to a situation in which less output is achieved with more input? Time. Counterproductive. Trigonometry, the category, toss-up question. Find the measure of the angle formed by a tangent ray and a secant ray to a circle if the measures of the intercepted arcs are 70 and 30 degrees. Port Huron High.
20 degrees.
20 degrees is correct. A bonus question for Port Huron High. Ocean currents. What is the 3-syllable name for a current that runs constantly toward the sea beneath a line of breakers?
Undertow.
Undertow?
Undertow is correct. The toss-up question, inflammations, the category. What is the name for an inflammation or infection of the mucous membrane of the eyelids and eyeball? Port Huron High.
A sty.
Incorrect. Lapeer East.
Pink eye.
Incorrect. Conjunctivitis. Toss-up question, executions and quotes. This account is about the execution of what leader? The scene was Port Huron High.
Mussolini.
Incorrect. I'll finish the question. The scene was Ekaterinburg and the Urals. I understood that Yurovsky had it in his mind to shoot the whole of the Tsar's family, as well as his doctor and the servants. Lapeer East?
Nicholas the First.
Correct. Nicholas II. Correct response. Toss-up question. Sentence analysis. Which word is an indirect object in this passage by Oscar Wilde? There is so much to be said in favor of modern journalism. By giving us the opinions of the uneducated, it keeps us in touch with... Lapeer East?
Us.
Us is correct. The bonus question for Lapeer East. Seaweed and seas, the category. A sea within the North Atlantic having very little life was named after what seaweed?
Sargasso.
Sargasso is one of the correct answers, correct. Toss-up question. Inventors, the category. Who is usually credited with an invention that solved this problem? Even if it were known in which monastery a text was, retrieval might involve... Lapeer East?
Dewey.
Incorrect. I'll finish it for Port Huron High. Text was, retrieval might involve a long, risky journey, then it might not be available if it were being copied. Port Huron High.
Gutenberg.
Gutenberg is correct. Bonus question. Proteins, the category. Name the phosphoprotein, which is the principal protein of milk and the basis of curd and cheese.
Lactic acid. How much time do we have to stop?
Team captain?
Lactic.
Cassian or Cason was the correct response. Toss-up question. The SI system, what metric prefix refers to 10 to the minus 9th power? Port Huron High.
Pico.
Incorrect.
No.
Correct response, nano. Nano.
That's right.
Climates and landforms, toss-up question. Alluvial fans are usually associated with what type of climate? Time. Arid was the answer there. And that ends the first half of this championship game. 200 for Port Huron High, 175 for Lapeer East, and we'll be back with the second half after we pause.
I'm Morley Winograd, Chairman of the Michigan Bicentennial Commission. 1991 marks the 200th anniversary of the adoption of the Bill of Rights. These first 10 amendments to the Constitution secure the blessings of liberty for all of us. Some of the rights protected within this document are those of speech, press, assembly, and religion. Others include equal protection under the law, rights to a fair trial, to not testify against oneself, to legal counsel, and protection from unreasonable search and seizure. To learn more about the blessings of liberty and to join us in celebrating the 200th birthday of the Bill of Rights, write the Michigan Commission on the Bicentennial of the United States Constitution, Post Office Box 30026, Lansing, Michigan 48909, or call us 517-334-6057.
Come to the Port Huron High Trading Post for the biggest selection of Big Red sportswear. We have the lowest prices around. These items make good Christmas gifts. We're open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 2 p.m.
We welcome you back for the second half of today's play between Lapeer East and Port Huron High. At the half, Port Huron High leads in this district championship match 200 to 175. We continue now with second half play with a toss-up question for both teams. Congressional acts is the category. This congressional act passed in 1862 provided that a family head could acquire a maximum of 160. Port
The
Huron High?
Homestead Act?
Homestead Act is correct. Bonus question for Port Huron High. Fuels the category. Deposits of what fossil fuel may be found on every continent?
Coal. Petroleum. Coal.
I don't know. I would say it's coal too, because it glides.
Team captain?
Coal?
Coal is correct. Toss-up question for both schools. Folklore, the category. These lines refer to the folklore of what part of the UK? Every lake has its kelpie, often seen by the shepherd sitting upon the brow of a rock, dashing along the surface of the deep, or browsing upon the pasture on its verge. Lapeer East.
Scotland.
Scotland is correct. Bonus question for Lapeer East. Hydrogen, the category. Hydrogen is very often stored and transported in the form of sodium hydride. What must be added to sodium hydride to release the hydrogen?
Water.
Water is correct. Toss-up question. Art styles, the category. What style of art fundamentally motivated by a desire to express emotion and characterized by distortion and exaggeration of form was illustrated by many works of Paul Klee, Emil Nold, and Wassily Kandinsky? Lapeer East.
Abstract.
Correct. Incorrect. Yeah. We're trying to decide here. It's a form of expression. Yeah, we'll take that. Abstract expressionism. Okay, that's the correct response. Bonus question. Disease and adjectives. Pandemic diseases spread over all the world. What adjective describes diseases that are always present in particular places or in a particular group of people?
Epidemic.
No, that's incorrect. Endemic. is the correct response. A toss-up question. Cities and churches. In what city is the largest cathedral named after the Christian martyr Peter? Port Huron High.
In the Vatican City.
Correct. Bonus question. Historical boundary disputes. Charles Mason and Jeremiah Dixon were involved in surveying a line between colonies whose charters were held by Lord Baltimore and...
Penn. It's Penn, isn't it? Penn.
Correct. Toss-up question. Mammals, the category. What mammals, in addition to whales, are members of the order Cetacea? Lapeer?
Dolphins.
Dolphins, correct. Bonus question. Roots, the category. The oak has a long, slender root with short lateral rootlets. Name this root system. Team captain?
Runners.
It's called the taproot system. Toss-up question. Equilibrium, the category. There are three fundamental types of equilibrium to a physicist. Which of these is illustrated by a sphere balanced point down on solid concrete? Time. Unstable equilibrium. Toss-up question. Moons, the category. The largest moon in our solar system is Lapeer East?
Titan.
Incorrect. Port Huron High.
The moon.
Ganymede is the correct response.
13. One and two, please.
Toss-up question for both teams. Physical science and measurement, the category. This device works on the principle that air pressure decrease. Lapeer East?
Barometer.
Incorrect. I'll finish the question for Port Huron High. That air pressure decreases as altitude increases. Name this device used in aircraft to measure altitude. Port Huron High?
Altimeter.
Very good. A bonus question. School board practices, the category. What practice is a school board exercising when it decides to remove the works of J.D. Salinger and Eldridge Cleaver from the stacks in the library?
Censorship. They gotta have a nice word for it, though.
Team captain?
Censorship.
Correct. Score now 270 for Port Huron High, 220 for Lapeer East. Toss-up question. Obituaries, the category. He was a World War II hero who took over his family's publishing business. Critics remember him as a collector of motorcycles and a Faberge eggs, and for his... Lapeer East?
Forbes.
Forbes is correct. Bonus question, Lapeer East. Rock and soil characteristics, the category. The volume of open spaces in rock or soil is referred to by the term... Team captain?
Porousness.
Yeah, porosity, porousness. Correct. A toss-up question. Grammar and nouns, the category. Which word in this passage by Mae West is an abstract noun? Whenever I'm caught between two evils, I... Lapeer East?
Evils.
Evils is correct. Bonus question. Lenses, the category. A biconvex or biconvex lens has two surfaces curved in opposite directions from one another. What is the name for a lens that has one flat surface and one outwardly curving surface?
Is that one flat and one like that?
Team captain?
Concave, convex.
That's incorrect. Plano convex lens was the correct response. Logic, the next category. Toss-up question. State the converse of the conditional statement below. If Jane flies, then I will walk. Port Huron High.
If I walk, then Jane will fly.
Correct. Bonus question for Port Huron High. State capitals, the category. What is the capital of the state located immediately to the east of the state whose capital city is Jackson?
Mississippi, so Arkansas. It's not Arkansas.
It's Montgomery.
Team captain?
Montgomery.
Montgomery is correct. Toss-up question. Grammar, the category. Classify the first word in this quote by Herb Cain. There are more of them than us. Port Huron High.
Demonstrative pronoun.
Incorrect. No guess from Lapeer East. Expletive. Toss-up question. Adjectives, the category. What degree of comparison is used in this passage? Her shoulder was the coldest in Lapeer East.
Superlative.
Superlative is correct. Bonus question, the category money and colonies. The Pine Tree shilling was minted in what New England colony? Team captain?
Massachusetts Bay Colony.
Correct. Massachusetts is correct. The toss-up question for both teams. Momentous decisions, the category. Who made the decisions to intervene in Korea in Lapeer East?
Truman.
Correct. Bonus question. Members of what phylum burrow into the soil by waves of peristaltic contraction or contraction that sweep down the length of their bodies?
Annelida.
Well, you got me there. Annelids is what I have here.
It's the same thing.
It is. Spell what you're saying.
You want me to spell it?
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
Annelida.
Yeah, that's the same thing. There's just an S instead of an A. Okay. Correct response. Toss-up question. Presidents and quotes. Name the president referred to in this introduction to a 1990 news article. Was the newly inaugurated president right to retain Sandinista Port Huron High?
Bush.
Incorrect. I'll finish the question for Lapeer East. Newly inaugurated president right to retain Sandinista commander Humberto Ortega as head of the armed forces? Correct response was Violeta Chamorro. Idioms, the category. Toss-up question. One way of warning an unsuspecting associate to be very careful would be to advise him not to accept what kind of a nickel? Port Huron High.
Wooden nickels.
Wooden nickel, correct. Bonus question for Port Huron High. Light, the category. What special kind of light is used in industry for welding, cutting, and drilling?
Lasers. Laser light. Laser.
Laser.
Laser is correct. Score stands at this point in the second half tied at 310-310. Glasnost and journalism, the category. In 1990, newspapers reported the 1940 joining of the Soviet Union was a violation by outside force of the sovereignty of the Lithuanian state. Surprisingly, the report was released by the official Soviet news agency, Port Huron High.
Pravda.
Incorrect. The Lapeer East team, please.
TAS.
Correct answer. Bonus question. Algebraic exponents. Solve the following for x, Lapeer East. 8 to the 3x plus 1 power equals 4 to the x power. Team captain?
3.
X equals negative 3/7 is the correct response. Myths, the category. He saw his reflection in the water and thought.
Narcissus.
Correct.
Good job.
Bonus question. Canada, the category. How many Canadian provinces share 30 degrees north latitude as their northern border?
Four.
4 is correct.
Good job.
Toss-up question for both teams. What do we call a microscope's ability to deliver a clear image? Lapeer East.
Resolution.
Correct. Bonus question, Lapeer East. 2 plays from the American theater, both produced by David Belasco, were the inspiration for operas by an Italian composer. The composer was Giacomo Puccini. Can you name one of the plays? Team captain?
Porgy and Bess.
Madam Butterfly or the Girl of the Golden West? Toss-up question. Dorothy's friends on the Yellow Brick Road in the Wizard... Lapeer East.
The Munchkins.
Incorrect. I'll finish the question for Port Huron High. Dorothy's friends on the Yellow Brick Road in the Wizard of Oz were the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Cowardly Lion. What were the names of the actors who played the colorful trio? Ray Bolger, Jack Haley, and Bert Lahr, or those 3. 330 to 335 in favor of Lapeer East. In a circle, a central angle has a measure of 80 degrees. What is the measure of the inscribed Lapeer East?
80 degrees.
Incorrect. I'll finish the question for Port Huron High. The measure of the inscribed angle intercepting the same arc. Port Huron High.
40 degrees.
40 degrees is correct. Bonus question for Port Huron High. The nun's priest's tale of the Canterbury Tales ends with two morals. One is keep your eyes open. What is the other?
Look before you leap. It's, I know.
Team captain?
Look before you leap.
Keep your mouth shut. What is the other one? Toss-up question. During World War II, the initials CBI stood for what three nations? Port Huron High.
Canada, Britain, and India.
Incorrect. No guess from Lapeer East. China, Burma, and India. Toss-up question. The Savile Row or Savile Row area of London is a district primarily known for what? Time. Tailor shops. The probability is high that if you haven't taken a course in statistics, this question won't be a snap. Explain the essential difference between combinations and permutations. Time. Order matters for permutations and not for combinations. Toss-up question. Give me the name for the type of weather front that forms the boundary beyond air masses that have temporarily stopped moving. Port Huron High?
That's a stationary front.
Correct. Bonus question for Port Huron High. What branch of chemistry studies compounds obtained from minerals?
It's not stoichiometry. It's
Mineralogy.
Team captain?
Mineralogy.
Inorganic chemistry, the response. Toss-up question. This former British protectorate in Africa contains the Port Huron High.
South Africa.
I'll finish the question for Lapeer East. The Kalahari Desert. It received full independence in September of 1966 and joined the United Nations in October of the same year. Formerly known as Bakuna Land, what is the country now called? Lapeer East?
Kenya?
No, it's called Botswana. Toss-up question. Who was the only German to become heavyweight champion of the world? Port Huron High.
Schnell.
Incorrect. No response. Max Schmeling was the response. Toss-up question. The continents can be said to be floating in the mantle because there is a difference in blank between continents and the mantle. Lapeer East.
Density.
Density is correct. Bonus question for Lapeer East. Which of these was the subject of most of Rembrandt's paintings? Street scenes, people, rural landscapes, animals, or religious themes? Team captain?
People.
Correct. Toss-up question. The coldest days of the year in the northern hemisphere typically occur around the winter solstice, late January. Lapeer East.
Late January?
Correct. Bonus question. In which city would you find the subdivisions of city government called boroughs? Phoenix, Denver, Miami, New York City, San Francisco?
New York City.
New York City is correct. Now 375, 345, Lapeer East. Toss-up question. Which of the following is not an example of justifiable homicide? Killing of the enemy during war, executing a condemned criminal. Lapeer East.
Executing a condemned criminal.
I'll finish the possibilities for Port Huron High. Killing of the enemy during war, executing a condemned criminal, killing a suspected prowler outside your house, a policeman shooting a fleeing criminal.
Killing a suspected prowler outside your house.
Correct. Bonus question for Port Huron High. Vocabulary, the category. What four-letter term could also be used to describe a person who is emaciated?
Oh, thin. Thin.
Thin is correct. Toss-up question. U.S. history. In 1918, the House of Representatives adopted a short statement drawn up by William Tyler Page, who was then serving as the clerk of the House. Name this statement. Time. The American's Creed. Alphabetizing and geography, the category. The name of what city would be first on an alphabetical list that included all the capital cities of American states that border upon the Gulf of Mexico? Port Huron High.
Albuquerque.
Incorrect. Lapeer East.
Austin, Texas.
Austin is correct. A bonus question for Lapeer East. Anthropology. Confucianism and Buddhism and Christianity are practiced in Korea. The oldest religion in that region teaches that there are spirits and such things as rivers and trees and animals. This form of religion is called?
Animism.
No, shamanism is the correct response. Asian history, toss-up question. Following Britain's withdrawal in 1947, the Indian subcontinent was partitioned into what two states? 40 or not?
India and Pakistan.
Very good. Correct response. And a bonus question. New England and elements is the category. The abbreviation for the state that includes the northern part of Chesapeake Bay corresponds to the chemical symbol for what element? Team captain?
Cobalt.
Oh, mendelevium. Quotes in war, the category. Toss-up question. This quote was uttered by a person in what kind of a facility? First, some hot air was pumped in from the ceiling. Then the pretty pale blue crystals of Zyklon were showered down on the people. Lapeer East.
A German concentration camp in the gas chambers.
Correct. Well, bonus question. Drama, the category. What novel by John Steinbeck was transformed into a stage play that debuted on Broadway in 1990?
Grapes of Wrath.
Correct. Toss-up question. Vocabulary and health, the category. The content of what substance in the blood is abnormal among people with symptoms of dysglycemia? 40 and high?
That's sugar.
Correct. Bonus question. Angles and degree measure, the category. What is the degree measure of an angle in standard position if the terminal side is rotated 3/4 turn clockwise?
90. Okay.
Team captain?
70.
No, negative 270 was the response. European geography, toss-up question. What Scandinavian country lies closest to the Soviet Republic of 40 and high?
Finland.
Finland is correct. The streak test for a bonus question. What is the color of the streak given by a sample of hematite? Hematite. Tight.
Do you know? Should we say like white?
No.
Team captain?
That's good.
Red.
Red is correct.
All right.
Question for both teams. Runoff. Prior to the construction of a whole series of dams, most of the runoff from the entire Great Basin region ended up in what gulf? Lapeer East.
Gulf of California.
Correct. Bonus question. Historical highways. An important commercial and military route that stretched from Nashville to the Mississippi River was known as the Natchez.
Trace.
Trace is correct. Toss-up question. The Constitution. What is the next word in this extract from Preamble of the U.S.? Secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our...
Posterity.
Correct. Bonus question. Soviet leaders, the category. What Soviet agency was headed by Vladimir Khrushchev in 1990? Team captain?
KGB.
KGB is correct. On the last bonus question, Port Huron High has won 445 to 435 over Lapeer East. Let's have a hand for a tremendous match from both teams.
Good job, Andre.
And we'll be back to talk with both teams in just a moment.
Great job.
Gosh, Darlene, it sure is amazing how much we have in common.
I know, Larry. We both love three-car pileups. We both were built in Buffalo.
And we both know wearing safety belts helps save thousands of lives.
Yeah, this is fascinating.
Don't mind Vince. He's getting over a bad breakup.
I know. Janet's picking up the pieces, too. They're in here.
I wish they understood it's all worth it to get people to buckle up.
Hey, lacerated lovebirds, I sense a major crush.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Talk about head over heels.
This is where they partied, where Denise met Michael. They danced, they joked, they did a little crack, and went up here, where she took the wrong step that ended everything. Only she doesn't know it yet. Drugs make you forget things, like how to prevent AIDS. AIDS, another way drugs can kill.
We welcome you back. We've had the championship matches, and I say that because we had to have two. Lapeer East came out of the losers bracket to beat Port Huron High in the first match, and Port Huron High has just edged Lapeer East 445 to 435 for the district championship in Quiz Bowl. We're now going to present the second place trophy and ribbons to the Lapeer East team, and I introduce Dan DeGros, our senator, and Dr. Ernie Deer. And now let's have a round of applause for the district champions, the Port Huron High Big Reds.
The college is proud to present a scholarship for $500, which may be used by one individual or several individuals at the discretion of your school and your team. So congratulations.
Another round of applause for both teams here today. A terrific match. Now, Port Huron High will go on to the state championships, and we'll be back here in a few weeks in May, the first weekend in May, for the state championships, and we wish the Port Huron High Big Reds good luck and a great match from Lapeer East. Thank you very much for joining us, and that'll do it from here. We'll see you in May.